gon' knock that joy, they won't wear no more. They told me joy and suffering can never live as one. Told me pick a side, either the shadow or the sun. But then I watched the early church get beaten, get in prison. Still leave every council rejoicing, still walk out glistening. With a peace that had no business showing up that day. Joy that outlasted every single thing they took away. That's the kind of joy I want, not tied up to my comfort. Not the kind that folds a second circumstances get uncomfortable.
Not the absence of the fire, but the presence in the flame. Joy that walks into the furnace and still calls out his name. Joy that walks into the furnace and still calls out his name.
Joy in the fire, not instead of but inside. Joy that walks straight through the middle, never had to hide. From the pain or from the pressure, never needed comfort first. Joy in the fire is the deepest, realest kind of work. Joy in the fire, and I'm learning how to hold both the suffering and the singing till the story's told.
Joy in the joy in the fire.
I stopped waiting for the storm to pass before I start to praise. Started praising in the middle, started singing through the haze of everything uncertain, everything still unresolved. Found a joy in there that comfortable season never could involve. There's a depth that only fire reaches, only pressure involved. The kind of joy that comfortable living leaves behind. I don't wish for harder seasons just to find that kind of joy. But I'm not scared of fire anymore, not scared to be employed. By suffering to teach me what comfort never could reveal. Joy in the fire taught me more than comfort made me feel.
Not the absence of the fire, but the presence in the flame. Joy that walks into the furnace and still calls out his name. Joy that walks into the furnace and still calls out his name.
Joy in the fire, not instead of but inside. Joy that walks straight through the middle, never had to hide. From the pain or from the pressure, never needed comfort first. Joy in the fire is the deepest, realest kind of work. Joy in the fire, and I'm learning how to hold both the suffering and the singing till the story's told. Joy in the fire, joy in the fire. Whatever furnace you're standing in tonight, joy is still available, joy is still your right. Not because the fire's fake, not because it doesn't burn, because the joy inside the fire is the deepest lesson learned. Because the joy inside the fire is the deepest lesson learned.
Joy in the fire,
not instead of but inside. Joy that walks straight through the middle, never had to hide. From the pain or from the pressure, never needed comfort first. Joy in the fire is the deepest, realest kind of work.
Joy in the fire,
and I'm learning how to hold both the suffering and the singing till the story's told.
Joy in the fire, joy in the fire,
joy in the fire. That's the only kind that's proof. It survived the flame and came out speaking true. And I climbed up to the wall when nobody sent me there. Not for the title, not the view, just because I couldn't bear. Watching danger moving closer while the city stayed asleep. Dancing in the streets below and inside a piece too cheap to keep. Strong enough to face the storm, too weak to start the blade. I saw it coming from a distance, saw the cause that wasn't paid. For the warning that was needed, for the truth nobody wanted. Standing on the wall alone while the whole city laughs and talks. Calling me dramatic, saying I should come, I feel. Until the night it happens and they're asking why I'm here. Warnings only matter when they're spoken before the fall. So I keep sounding out the trumpet, I keep standing on the wall. Not for popularity, not to be the loudest voice. Just because somebody has to make the harder choice.
voice on the wall, speaking even when it's harder than the crowd.
what the calling's for. Ezekiel received the charge. If you see the sword and speak, blood is on the silent watchman, never on the faithful meek. If I sound a warning clearly and they choose another way, their decision isn't mine because I faithfully obey. I've been mocked and I've been doubted, told my words are far too strong, told my warnings don't agree with what the culture calls right or wrong. But the wall don't ask opinions and the wall don't need applause. It just needs a faithful watchman standing firmly for the cause. I just stay awake at midnight, heart that doesn't run away. I remain upon this tower until God said leave this place. Voice on the wall, I won't come down for comfort. Voice on the wall, speaking even when it's harder than the crowd wants. Then the party wants tonight. Voice on the wall, still standing for the light. Voice on the wall, whether they listen or ignore, that's the only post I know, that's what the calling's for. By warning, never hardened by the pain. Love was always in his message, though rejection was his game. The watchman never warns from anger, he warns because he cares. Isaiah heard, whom shall I send? And answer with his prayer. I am here, Lord, send me forward. Though my hands and voice may shake, the wall is for the willing, not the ones who never break.
Here I am. Voice on the wall.
That's the only place I'll stand. Whether now or years from now, I'll still obey the king's command. Trumpet in my hands, eyes fixed upon the land. Until the morning rises, I'll remain where I've been planned.
Voice on the wall.
Comfortable and cool. It takes the deepest kind of pressure, takes the hardest kind of school. Buried underneath the earth for years before it ever shined. That's the road I'm walking now. That's the pressure, that's the climb. Everybody wants the crown, but nobody wants to wait. Every king is shaped with Every king is shaped with pressure, teaches him to wait. Hard enough to break a man or build him into more. Diamonds only come alive beneath impossible fall. I stopped praying for the pressure just to leave my life alone. Started praying for endurance while it shaped my heart and soul. If the crown is waiting farther somewhere down the road, let the process build the shoulders that can bear the heavy load. Crown under pressure, diamond rising from the cold, shaping every broken soul.
I'm not running from the way.
I'm walking through the fire, lifting every step high. Every scroll becomes a witness, every trial has a role.
Crown under pressure,
Turning cold into gold.
under pressure, closer than the golden gold into gold. Crown under pressure, turning cold into
Yours is water, cold of favor, then the pit became his home. Sold by jealous brothers, forced to face the world alone. Prison kept him waiting while the promise looked delayed. Every painful hidden season was another layer laid. Nothing God was building happened there by chance. Every chain became preparation for the throne inside his plan. When the palace doors were open, he was ready for the wait. Pressure built the wisdom long before he ruled the stage. I've had pits and I've had pits, and I've ran if hope was gone. Later I God was making me more strong. The crown was formed in places nobody could see. Pressure wasn't breaking me, it was building me. Crown under pressure, diamond rising from the crown under pressure, shaping every broken soul. I'm not running from the way, I'm walking through the fire under pressure, lifting every step high. Every scar becomes a witness, every trial has a role.
Crown under pressure,
Turning cold into gold.
less of me comes a witness. Every trial has a role. Crown under pressure, turning cold into
Joseph forgave the brothers who had thrown him in the pit. What you meant for evil, God made good, became his gift. The pit prepared the palace, every scar became God's story. Pressure built a vessel that would carry all his glory.
crown under pressure.
I can feel it forming now. Every burden on my shoulders is preparing me somehow.
Crown under pressure.
I won't feel the weight anymore, I understand. Pressure makes the diamond, then God crowns a man.
Crown under pressure.
Diamond rising from the cold under pressure, shaping every broken soul. I'm not running from the weight, I'm walking through the fire under pressure, lifting every step higher. Ooh, yeah.
Riding ocean, you're the God that goes to light.
Nobody prepares you for the weight of carrying the word. Nobody will carry word. Nobody says the calling often feels completely unheard. Feels completely unheard. Standing in the space between the truth and what they want. Feeling like a stranger in the room you're called to confront. Holding what they need to hear but never wanna face. I've stood in silent rooms and felt the burden fill the place. Before I spoke a single word, I felt resistance rise. That's the way of being sent before they hear you cry. I didn't choose this burden, it was placed inside my soul. Long before I understood the cost of this call.
Weight of being sent,
Heavier than I expected.
weight of being sent,
Carrying what God directed. Not for glory, not for fame, not for man's applause. Just because the message matters more than their applause.
weight of being sent,
I'm still walking with the Lord.
weight of being sent,
I'll keep following the road. I'll keep following the road. Yeah, he I just sat beneath the tree, exhausted and alone. Lord, I've had enough, he cried, just let me come back home. Even faithful prophets reach the limits of their strength. Even chosen servants sometimes crawl instead of stand. God didn't shame his weakness, he provided rest and bread. Then called him back to finish what still waited up ahead. I've known my own dark seasons, wanted everything to end. Wanted to lay down the call and never preach again. Yet the God who met Elijah still provides for me today. Enough grace for tomorrow, enough strength to keep the way.
weight of being sent,
Heavier than I expected.
weight of being sent,
Carrying what God directed. Not for glory, not for fame, not for man's applause. Just because the message matters more than their applause.
weight of being sent,
I'm still walking with the Lord.
weight of being sent,
I'll keep following the road. I'll keep following the road.
weight of being sent,
Elijah rested first before he climbed again in faith. Rest is not surrender, it's receiving needed grace. Pause if you must breathe, but never leave the call behind. God renews the weary heart, one faithful step at a time.
Rest me, send me, rest me, send me, rest me, send me.
weight of being sent,
Heavier than I expected.
weight of being sent,
Carrying what God directed. Not for glory, not for fame, not for man's applause. Just because the message matters more than their applause.
weight of being sent,
I'm still walking with the Lord.
weight of being sent,
I'll keep following the road. following the road.
Wait up, be innocent. Wait up, be innocent. Wait up, be innocent.
Weight of being sent, I'm still walking every day. Whatever this assignment costs, I'll gladly choose His way. Fire at my back, I'm laughing in the smoke. Counting joy, that's the only line I spoke. They stripped the comfort thinking that would break the melody. Didn't know the joy I hold got roots beneath the enemy. Rooted where the storm can't reach, planted where it's steady. James they counted joy when the trial hits already. Testing builds the patience, patience finishes a marathon. I used to think the joy meant everything was carrying on smooth. Now I know the joy survives the opposite of that, the truth. They took the mic, the platform, took the name I built from scratch. Start the losses with the silence, what the fire couldn't catch. Not cause it's easy, not cause I don't feel the sting. Cause the joy's not built on circumstance. Cause the joy's not built on circumstance. It's a different kind of thing. Counting joy when the fire's turned up to the middle. Counting joy when they coming for everything you have. Not smiling cause it's fun, smiling cause I know the game. The trial's just refining what the trial can never take. Counting joy, that's not denial, that's the truth.
Joy that lives after the fire is the only real truth.
Paul and Silas singing midnight back to torn and raw. Persecution never touched the melody they saw. Rising from the inside where the chains can never land. That's the pattern I'm still walking, that's the joy I understand. Every strike that came to strip me only stripped the fake facade. Left the real thing standing taller, closer to my God. I don't fake the joy for cameras, don't perform it for the room. Here's the deepest thing I'm carrying, straight through the darkest gloom. Counting joy when the fire's turned up to the max. Counting joy when they're coming for everything you have. Not smiling cause it's fun, smiling cause I know the game. The trial's just refining what the trial can never take.
Counting joy, that's not denial, that's the
Proof.
The joy that lives after the fire is the only real truth.
The enemy expects the fire to make me fold up quick. Instead it's showing everybody how deep the root can sit. Not shaking, not performing, anchor past the fruit. Deep enough that persecution never touched the root. Counting joy when the fire's turned up to the max. Counting joy when they coming for everything you have. Not smiling cause it's fun, smiling cause I know the game. The trial's just refining what the trial can never change.
Counting joy, that's not denial, that's the
Proof.
joy that lives after the fire is the only real truth. Counting joy, that's the final word I'll ever leave. The fire don't decide the kind of joy that I receive.
They dragged me through the council, beat me till the blood ran. Told me stop the message or you feel it with your own hand. I walked out of that room rejoicing, not complaining, counted worthy to be shamed. For the name I'm not ashamed of claiming, that's the part they can't explain. The joy after the beating, the peace that shows up strongest right after the meeting. Not because the pain don't hurt, not because I don't feel 'cause the joy underneath the pain is realer than his real. Beaten but not broken, that's the testimony line. Every strike just proves the fire they can't put out inside. I walk out different than the version that walked in. Counted worthy for the bruises, that's a strange kind of win. Still rejoice and still awake. Every wound becomes a witness to the joy they couldn't take. I've had my own counsels, had my own rooms full of threat. Told to shut it down or face what I haven't faced yet. But every time the pressure came, the joy got louder and endless. Something about the fire that refined instead of stress. I stopped expecting comfort to confirm that I'm on track. Started expecting resistance the moment I don't hold back. The truth I carry costs me things that the world calls valuable, but the joy stays durable underneath whatever they take, whatever they threaten to remove. There's a peace that isn't rented. There's a joy that isn't loaned to you. Beaten but not broken, that's the testimony line. Every strike just proves the fire they can't put out inside. I walk out different than the version that walked in. Counting worthy for the bruises, that's a strange kind of win. Still rejoice and still awake. Everyone becomes a witness to the joy they couldn't take. They meant the beating as an ending to the story. Instead it became the opening line of the glory. Every scar on my body's got a testimony attached. Beaten but not broken, that's a fire that don't get mad. Beaten but not broken, so that's a testimony line. Every strike just proves the fire they can't put out inside. I walk out different than the version that walked in. Counted worthy for the bruises, that's a strange kind of win. But not broken, still rejoice and still awake. Everyone becomes a witness to the joy they couldn't take. Walked out of the council rejoicing, not afraid. Counted worthy for the suffering, that's a trade I made. Beaten but not made.